Welcome to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with Rebecca Hall Greider. In our program each week, we provide the tools, ideas, and encouragement to help you move ahead on your journey, becoming a more powerful and impactful woman in your own life. Now here's your host, Rebecca Hall Greider.
Welcome, everyone. I hope you're having an amazing day. I'm honored to be connecting in with you. And in September, we have been talking about balance. How do we fall into balance? And we've been looking at it from different perspectives. We've been tapping into the expert advice from lots of different modalities and areas of expertise. And today we're going to be talking about balance out of chaos. And sometimes we can feel like our environment, the things around us can feel chaotic. Sometimes the thoughts in our head, sometimes those projects, those things we're looking to move forward, it can feel very difficult to know where to start to unravel. And it just feels like kind of a big tangle that we are trying to sort through to be able to move forward and have clarity and balance in that. So how do we find our balance and all of that? And then let's add on top of that the shifting of the seasons. The type of environment we're in these days is changing pretty dramatically from week to week, month to month on how we navigate the waters and how we gather together and what are as we go back into school, what does that look like? What does that feel like as we are gathering together or traveling? How is that looking? So there's all these changes that are going on around us, and it can feel a little bit chaotic. And that's why we wanted to make sure we had a time together to support us in sorting through some of that, really creating environments to help empower us for success, really looking at if we're called to bring a message forward, we're called to move something forward, that we have a way to know where to start and kind of untangle that and create a path to bring forward those things that matter most. So I'm thrilled to have you joining us today. I want to invite you to be present, to take a deep breath in through your nose. I even stretch up my arms sometimes to make my lungs extra big. Take in a little more air and breathe out through my mouth like through a straw. Just consciously, mindfully, purposely bringing in rich air and oxygen to support every cell of our body as you become mindfully, purposely present. As you continue to breathe, bring in all that serves. As you breathe out, release all that no longer does or is complete. And just release, creating more room and space for you. This also helps us lower our stress levels as we become mindfully, purposely present, and we slow down a little bit. I'm going to invite you, as you're slowing down, to be present, that today, this time is for you. The more you tune in and are willing to receive, the more you will get. This is time that we are coming together, connecting mindfully and purposely to support you. It's all about you, an opportunity for you to be empowered and be supported, and I hope filled beautifully, exquisitely, to that full place that you have overflow, that you're able to bring forward and share with others. So it's coming from that place of overflow and empowerment and spaciousness. And all of that can happen when we're willing to slow down and listen and receive. Beautiful. Go ahead and put one hand on your heart, one hand on your head, bringing all of you in, mind, body, soul, and spirit. Close your eyes as you continue to breathe. And as you feel the heartbeat, I want you to listen, feel, what is it that you need today that will encourage you, support you, empower you, bring balance? What do you need today? Real time. That you are willing to receive, because you do have choice. See if that shifts things a little bit again. What is it that you need and are willing to receive? Sometimes the information will come as a picture, a sound, a scent. Use all of your senses. Beautiful. Let's take a breath in through the nose. Just come back into the room. Eyes open, fully present, and take a moment to write down what was laid on your heart. Let's keep it top of mind. What is it that was laid on your heart that you need and are willing to receive? And that way, throughout our time together, you can glance at the paper and make sure that you're staying open to that. And here's what's magical about this. I love about this. Guess what? You don't have to figure out the how. You're just identifying the need, getting clarity around that. You get to be supported in the how. You get to be surprised by being open and willing to receive. It's amazing as we lean in to that need and we are open to receiving support in it. It can come in a way we never saw coming. So let's be open to being surprised by the how and let that come to us so that we aren't narrowing our vision and missing something that could be one of the best, most amazing ways to bring forward what we need that we never saw coming. Let's stay open to that wonder and excitement and anticipation of looking forward to seeing how this need will be met in a new and wonderful way. Beautiful. We're going to go around a virtual room. And as we do so, I'm going to ask each of our amazing guests just to share when they took a moment to stop, pause, and listen what was laid on their heart. So with that, Allison, I'd love to start with you. What was laid on your heart?
The first word that came to me was space. And I think that I just need to remember to take time to just be during the day and sort of make space for my own thoughts to be able to come in rather than the opinions of everybody else.
Beautiful. I love that. And that's so true. Sometimes we can't hear our thoughts because there's so much coming at us.
Yes.
And to create space and time for that is so beautiful. Thank you for sharing. I love that. Kathy, how about you? What was laid on your heart?
I think the big word for me that you mentioned earlier is the topic of the day, the balance out of chaos. And for me, balance is taking time to slow down and reflect. And I know, especially this time of year, sometimes I just get so busy, I just keep doing. And taking time to stop and do a little being in the midst of it all.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that. And it's right. We have to, when it gets so busy and we can get caught up in the doing, I know this is a really busy time of year for myself as well. I find I need that too. But I have to carve it out and protect it to allow.
Put it on the calendar. Yeah.
Exactly. And allow that space for that. So I love that. Just remembering to slow down and create that, not kind of waiting for someone to tell us now is the time, but creating it. You're right. Put it on the calendar. Love that. Thank you for sharing. And listeners, how about you? When you stopped and listened, what was laid on your heart? And perhaps some of what Allison and Kathy or I have shared is just adding to that or expanding it. And I love this consistent theme I'm hearing laid on all of our hearts, creating space and time for being. And not always in that doing space, slowing down and carving that space out. Perhaps you found a similar message that you received. We are getting ready for our first commercial break, and as we do, this is time for you. So as those beautiful commercials are playing in the background with information and updates that we want you to be aware of, choose to stay present. Don't tune out. Be present with you. Really listen and receive all that is bubbling up within you that you, now that you're slowing down a little bit, may start hearing, and have that pen ready to capture some of those thoughts and ideas and wisdom that sometimes we miss because we're so busy doing. So enjoy these next 2 minutes, and we'll continue our conversation in just a moment.
Become our friend on Facebook. Post your thoughts about our shows and network on our timeline. Visit facebook.com/Voice America.
Explore the poetry of Sam Yao. His book of poems, Soul's Journey, is a #1 international bestseller. Sam is a contemporary poet with a unique and highly relatable poetic style to convey the essence of spiritual truths for our time. Readers will find beauty, inspiration, and healing in his words. Get his book, Soul's Journey, today on Amazon.com or visit SamYaoPoetry.com. That's Sam, Y-A-U, Poetry.com.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit EmpoweredConnectionsTV.com. That's EmpoweredConnectionsTV.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
Rebecca Hall Greider's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at SpeakerTalentSearch.com. That's SpeakerTalentSearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Greider. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes just for you. I find it's amazing what can happen in 1 minute even. When I mindfully, purposely become present, take a deep breath, especially if the day is feeling a little bit chaotic or I feel pulled a lot of directions. When I remember to take that moment and pause and breathe, it creates a stillness in the storm. It creates a stillness in the chaos, in the busyness. And then I'm able to move forward in a more powerful, effective way by remembering to do that mindfully, purposely, carving out 1 minute, 2 minutes at a time. So I hope you found that supportive of you as we took a moment to stop and listen and breathe. We have those built throughout the show so that you're able to actually be present, breathe, and integrate on a cellular level those things that serve you most. So I encourage you to use those beautiful pauses, those commercial breaks throughout the show for you. And we are talking with amazing experts about balance in our life and balance out of chaos. And how do we do this? How do we step into that? How do we move forward in that? How do we find that when we can have so many demands on our time and our energy? So I'm really excited to introduce our first guest. For those of you who have been listening for a while, you are probably getting to know Kathy as we are blessed to have her many times a year join us. So I'm excited to welcome Kathy back. For those of you who don't know Kathy, I wanted to share a little bit about her. So Kathy Davis is the founder of Davis Creative. She founded it in 2004 after a corporate downsizing. As a boutique creative services agency, it has grown and has now become a sought-after publishing industry leader that provides concierge publishing services for clients around the world. She is a #1 best-selling author and compiler and is passionate about helping you bring your story and your message forward because she believes wisdom not shared is lost forever. Please lean in and warmly welcome the powerful, heart-centered, and gifted Kathy Davis to the show. Welcome!
Hi, Rebecca. I am blessed to be a frequent flyer on your show. Thank you.
Oh, absolutely. We love having you as a frequent flyer. So welcome back. Thrilled to have you joining us. And I wanted to start with why this work, particularly in the area of helping authors and experts bring their message forward in a written format. Why is that work personally so important to you?
That topic has come up quite a bit the last couple of weeks, and what I love doing the most is empowering women to find their voice, share their story, and make a difference in the world. And we just happen to be doing that through the power of publishing. As someone in my 60s who has grown up and lived and worked and had a career and now have a business of my own in the Midwest or in St. Louis, kind of in the middle of everything. As a child growing up in the Midwest, women especially were not, applauded for sharing our voices. And it's important to me that especially as I've gotten older, and it's funny because I saw this in my mother, the older she got, the more just she'd say whatever was on her mind. And, when you're a daughter watching that, you get a little concerned about some of the things that she says. The filter kind of starts to go away as you age. And I had to laugh because the other day I pretty much told somebody the same thing. And when they said, you have an opinion about that. And I go, well, yeah, I've kind of reached the age in my life where it's like, yes, I do have an opinion. And yes, I am comfortable in sharing that whether you ask or not. Hopefully I do have a filter still, so I am careful about what I say or who I'm saying it to. But yes, it is important that everyone understands that they do have a voice. They do count. Yes. They do matter. They are important.
Beautiful. Well, I love that you have created a way to empower women in that and bring it forward and not only bring their message and their voice forward and their wisdom forward, but create a powerful brand and impact with it. So I love how you've been able to just exquisitely weave those together in such a powerful way to support them in bringing their message forward. So I love that. And I'd like to, yeah, absolutely. And I'd like to ask, how does sharing our voice, some of what you were sharing, the filter fading away or really standing in our opinions and beliefs and bringing those forward, how does that help us find our balance as an expert or as an author? How does that tie in?
I believe that our mess is our message. The bumps in life, the roller coaster ride that we have, whatever metaphor you want to use, so many people have taken that hiccup in life and turned it around and created businesses around it. One of the comments that I get the most from our new authors is, they're considering writing a chapter in one of our anthologies, and they'll ask me, well, what do I have to say? Or who wants to hear what I have to say? And part of my goal, and I've seen it happen every time with every author, as we start to walk you through the process of writing the chapter, working with our writing coach, who I call our chief cheerleader, you come out with the confidence that you didn't have before you stepped into the process. And that confidence emboldens you and helps you step forward and take those steps to, whether it's grow your business or whether it's to quit the job that you're really miserable in and find a new one. It allows you the confidence to take that next step. Beautiful.
I love that. And I love the cheerleader because, we do need those in our lives, whether it's writing a chapter
Definitely.
or otherwise, having those people that cheer us on. And one of the things you mentioned is an anthology and a chapter. And I just it's a term that I find is new to a lot of people. So do you mind sharing what an anthology is for those that's a new word for them?
I'd love to. An anthology at its simplest is a collection of essays on a single topic. So so rather than an author committing to writing an entire book, which can sometimes be intimidating, we offer opportunities, as does Rebecca, where authors can write one chapter. It could be 1,500, 2,000 words, somewhere in there. And you're not then committed to writing an entire book, but yet you're writing with a group of other authors, and you get that collaborative connection to where you're meeting new people, you're finding out who they are, what they do, who they help, and at the same time they're finding out what you do and what your business is all about. And you become partners in helping each other grow.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it. And anthologies are so powerful, and it's a way to come together and bring a book forward, a chapter, a section at a time in community, and launch it and share it with the world. So I love that you lead those and create that sort of an opportunity. And in fact, you have one coming up. So for those people who are like, ooh, I would love to be part of one of those, or I'd love to look into one of those and read one of those, I'd love to start with, what is the name of the anthology you have coming up? I know it's releasing in October, so I'd love for you to share the title.
Yes, it's hard to believe. It's 3 weeks away.
I know.
Clarity Out of Chaos is launching on October 21st.
Yep.
And I didn't mean to say that like a question. It is launching October 21st. I think we have about 20 authors, 18 to 20. Last count, we had a couple sneak in at the last minute this last 2 weeks. And it's a great collection of stories. It talks about how, the hard times are not necessarily here to break a person, but they can also make a person. And these are individual stories. They're amazing. Anywhere from someone who's just found out that, the relationship that they thought was solid, for the rest of their life, someone they were going to spend the rest of their life with, suddenly has crumbled and they've decided to move on, to someone who has encountered a job hiccup in what they did in that particular instance that empowered them to move on and start their own business, to someone who, may have a special needs child, and exactly how they have adjusted to that and found a new mission and purpose in life to help this child grow and be the best that child can be. There's amazing stories in this one, and it runs a huge, broad spectrum.
Beautiful. I love that. And I know I'm always inspired when people are willing to share their journey and kind of pull back the curtain. And I love that this particular anthology, people are doing that in such a deep way. I'm also a participant and one of the writers in this anthology as well. So I'm honored to be part of it as well. And I encourage everyone to check it out. It'll be released on October 21st. And the reason that date is really special and important is when it's launched, it's going to be made available for a special rate of $1.99 in the Kindle, the digital format, for the first 24 hours. So if this is something you're like, wow, I would love to read some stories like that, be encouraged, one essay at a time on people opening up their lives in that way and showing how they found clarity out of challenging times. This is just a great book, a great anthology to check out. So October 21st, mark the date on your calendar, special rate, $1.99. And we would be so honored if you would join us in helping share it out as well. We'd really like to reach as many people as possible with this book. So watch on that date. We'll be sharing out the link and promoting it in social media. We'd love for you to add it to your library, and we'd love to have your support in reaching as many people as possible, because the more we can encourage and lift each other up, it helps all of us. We all get to rise up, one heart and one life at a time. So I wanted all of you to know about this special anthology coming out, mark the date. And then also I wanted to tie in because this is just one of the anthologies that Kathy is bringing to the world, that Davis Creative is bringing to the world and sharing. So she offers them periodically. So I don't know if you want to give a sneak peek for anyone who was thinking, well, I might like to try being part of something like that. Do you mind sharing a little bit of some of the anthology opportunities to come, or when we'll get to know?
Yeah, I'd love to. So we have anthologies that we sponsor ourselves, and Clarity Out of Chaos is one of those where I make it known that we have chapters available and people join us to be a part of that program. And at the same time, we have what I call our anthology sponsors who may come to us and say, Kathy, I want to do an anthology. Can you help me walk through that process? We have a program that allows them to walk through that process, and they bring the authors with them. Mm-hmm. And so we may get anywhere from 30 to 40 authors, and we have two of those currently in process. One is called, Rising, which is a collection of essays and stories by medical professionals as they reflect back over the last 18 months of everything they have gone through. It's a powerful concept, and it's allowing them to heal. You know, they're tired, they're exhausted, they've been through a lot. This is an opportunity. They've lost connection. That was what one of them said to me, and it just gave me goosebumps. This doctor said, I feel like I've lost the people connection with my patients. We have been in triage mode and just trying to keep everybody alive and breathing, literally, that I don't have time to carry on a conversation with anyone, let alone my patients or my peers. You know, he said everyone's just going 90 miles an hour. And so it was amazing to me to hear that what he's looking for is that reconnection. And then we have another one coming up called Overcoming, and this is a group of Black women business owners from around the U.S. who have decided to pull their resources together. They've been inviting all their friends, everyone they know that is a African-American Black women business owner. And these are also stories of, you know, their resilience, their ability to overcome the negative encounters that have cropped up in their life. And it's a powerful book. Both of these are started and sponsored by women who themselves have been in other anthologies of ours, and they just stepped forward and said, I saw how powerful this is for each individual woman. I saw the confidence rise. I saw the connection that was created between the women. It's truly an art of collaboration. It's truly an opportunity to reconnect after everything we've been through over the last 18 months. And then in April, we will be coming out with another corporate-sponsored, our own sponsored anthology, of which the title is in process of being developed.
Okay.
We were brainstorming that earlier today, but that is yet to be revealed. But if anyone is interested in being in either the Rising, which is the medical professionals, or Overcoming, which is the Black women business owners, there is opportunity that you could jump into one of those also.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate it. And listeners, I hope that it's expanded some of the ways that you can bring your book forward or bring your message forward, that it can be in a solo book. It can be in collaboration with others, that there are those types of opportunities that you can lean into and start to find ways to bring your message forward, your wisdom forward. We are getting ready to go to our next commercial break. And as we do that, I encourage you to stay present, really take in all that serves you from what Kathy has been sharing with us. And we'll continue our conversation in just 2 minutes.
Follow us on Twitter at VoiceAmericaTRN. Get the lowdown on guests, new shows, and your favorites. That's VoiceAmericaTRN.
Rebecca Hall Greider's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at speakertalentsearch.com. That's speakertalentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message. It's time to serve, learn, change the world. Tune in each week for The Power of Young People to Change the World, hosted by NYLC CEO Amy Mewers. The program is a forum for both young people and the adults who love and support them. We make connections with others through stories of change, partnership, and new perspectives of issues facing the world today. Be sure to join us every Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time and 3 p.m. Pacific Time, or anytime on demand on the Voice America Empowerment Channel.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall-Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes, that opportunity to pause and breathe and receive all that serves you. And I hope some seeds got planted on ways that you can look at bringing your message forward. And if an anthology is a new thing for you to consider, I encourage you to explore that. So it's such a powerful way to bring your messages forward. So we are continuing our conversation of talking about finding balance out of chaos. How do we do that? I'm really excited to introduce our next amazing expert. I know you're going to enjoy her way of looking at things, her area of expertise, and who she is. I know you're just going to enjoy her. I'm excited to introduce her to you. Allison Kiro has been a professional organizer since 2004. I noticed there's a 2004 theme going on today. She creates and sells how-to videos on getting and staying organized, and a personalized 10-session course to help you get your whole house, your entire house, organized and free from clutter. She's passionate about you living and working in an environment free from clutter that actually supports and empowers you. Please lean in and warmly welcome the powerful and dynamic Allison Kiro to the show. Welcome.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
You are so welcome. Thrilled to have you joining us. And I wanted to have you share with us why. Why is this work that you do around helping people get organized, removing clutter from their lives? Why is this personally so important to you?
I've been doing it since 2004, and for me, I realized that when I started applying it to my life, it just made life easier because I knew where everything was. I could find everything easily. But then I got really, really sick. I went through a major illness about 7 years ago, and I kind of discovered that I took the time to just really do a deep decluttering, and I realized that it was so much more than that. The skills that you learn just by organizing your stuff, you can actually transfer it to help you do everything in life. Because the average person has 300,000 items, and when you go through each item, that's 300,000 times you get to make a decision. And it helps you to make better, more clear, more confident decisions.
Wow. Thank you for sharing. And as you talk about this, what I'm hearing, so I'd love for you to comment on this, is that it isn't just like the stuff, It's the choices, the skills, and that can even help us in some of the clutter that isn't just those 300,000 things. It can also be how we think about things. Do you find that all connects, or that's actually some of the clutter that we need to sort through too?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I would say that most of us, if you're going through your stuff, you're probably going to be able to realize that you're holding on to certain things that maybe make you feel either afraid or guilty or shame. And when you hold a lot of those things in your life, whether it's tangible or even the relationships that you're having, where you walk away from a friend feeling depleted rather than energized, or a work environment that makes you feel bad about yourself rather than the confident, capable person that you are, all of that is clutter. And the more that you accumulate, the more that it takes away from your spirituality, from the way that you think about yourself, and it can even start affecting your body in a physical way. And what organizing does is it teaches you how to set goals, how to keep and set boundaries, and that's, I think, the biggest problem for a lot of people, how to be aware of what and who you're keeping in your life and how you feel about it, how to listen to yourself and trust your own intuition. And then again, with all of that put together, you start learning how to make decisions so that you can make them easier, quicker, and be more confident about what you want in your life, because you're aware of this thing or this person is making me feel this way. Do I want that in my life? Is it going to make my life better or worse? And when you keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it, it's a powerful, magical way to start transitioning your life from too much clutter and too much junk and too much stuff I don't like seeing showing up to space and balance and feeling really good about yourself for once.
So powerful. Thank you for sharing. I feel like just in that, there were so many nuggets for us to start applying. I always love for us to build a toolbox and start to put some things in the toolbox to support us in balance and how we're living our life. So I love that you mentioned boundaries. I know we're going to talk about that a little bit more, but also, carrying around all that stuff and how is it making us feel? It's not just the physical space that it's taking up, and what are we continuing to kind of drag around with us physically and emotionally around things, or how we're navigating our days. And that can be really heavy and hard if there are things maybe we haven't looked at in a long time. We're just continuing to move along in or with. I love that you're bringing that into the conversation that we're looking at around clutter and organizing, that those all tie together. And something that has struck me in all of my interactions with you on just on a personal level, I have noticed you have always been clear, taken time and given yourself, put a boundary around the time to reflect and look at something and make a good decision around it, and been really good about following up and taking those next steps. So to me, as an outsider, I feel like you are a great model of what you talk about. And that's one of the things that really made me want to have you on the show, that I thought, wow, she not only is an expert in this, but she's in the information, but she's walking the talk and she looks at it. You look at it very holistically, and I appreciate that about you. Anything you want to add to that?
Well, you're right. And the reason I embody it is, again, when I got sick, I realized how much clutter I had in my life. And this was the only way that I found to get everything, both my mental and physical health, to get the relationships in my life, to get my business back on track, to get my home the way I wanted it, to get the relationships, whether it was friendships or families, all in a way that felt good to me rather than me, because I don't think I was aware. I kept just shoving all that clutter into a pile until I had no other choice but to become aware and start addressing it and put in those boundaries. And again, boundaries are the hard part. It's so easy, especially when you're tired or feeling vulnerable. So just push down those boundaries, but then the same old junk comes back into your life. And so it's really a lifelong commitment to yourself to learn how to say the word no with love to yourself. so that you don't walk away going, oh, I said no, but now I feel guilty. Don't. You want to bring in the things that mean something to you. So please learn how to say no with love to yourself.
Beautiful. I love that. And support yourself in it. And let's talk about the hard stuff, the boundaries, and tying in being willing to say no, which is yes to yourself too, in some ways.
Yeah.
Saying no to others. Oh, if boundaries seem like that just seems daunting, or you're not quite sure where to start, or how do I know I need a boundary, or how do I decide a boundary? How do you help people start to approach that, both with organizing their stuff, but also in what they're adding into their life or taking out of their life?
I mean, I sort of start with a real simple, do you like it? Do you need it? Do you use it? When you walk in your closet and you want to, the goal is people think, oh, I want a well-organized closet. What you're really looking for is to walk into a closet, be able to see everything, find everything, like everything, and know that when you put it on, it fits you. That's what you want. If you want to walk out wearing something, whether it's sweats or a ball gown, feeling like you are confident, you are capable, and you are beautiful. And that's what everybody deserves. So when you start putting boundaries of, do I even like this? Start small. Do I like this? Does it make me feel good in it? Do I fit into it? You start with those smaller things so that as you go through the system, and again, we all have a lot of stuff, it makes it easier to start putting in heavier and heavier boundaries on yourself. But if you just start small, like, do I like it? Do I need it? Do I use this? Is this enhancing my life or not? It makes it a little bit easier to make a decision, especially in the beginning but what if this? But what if that starts creeping in because you're not used to those boundaries? So even your own ego starts getting involved in trying to talk you out of it. So start small. And also, this doesn't have to be perfect. Say you keep a sweater you're not sure of. Okay, it's not going to overtake your life. You can get rid of it at a later date when you realize you don't really like it. And the nice part is when you start with the tangible stuff, you get rid of that sweater. It's not going to show up at your house and be like, hey, I just want to say hi, remember me? So it's a safer way for you to start to learn how to make decisions and set boundaries, because your stuff isn't going to come back and make your life misery. And again, if you keep it for a little bit longer, usually it's not going to make a huge difference in your life. So don't try to go for perfection. That's going to talk yourself out of it. Start small.
Oh, so good. I appreciate that. And when you're starting small, do you recommend carve out a whole weekend and do this the whole weekend, or carve out an hour, or have a buddy? Any tips or suggestions around that?
It really depends on the person. If you're someone where decision-making, you are not good at it, I think you should have a buddy, but it needs to be somebody who's going to tell you the truth and wants the best for you, not somebody who's going to either not let you get rid of anything or makes you get rid of everything. They're just there to support you. So find someone who really supports you. And how long you should do it for, honestly, it can get exhausting, especially when you're in the middle of organizing, because you have everything out and all your stuff is out in plain view, and you get exhausted and overwhelmed, and you just want to walk away and quit. And I've been doing this for almost 20 years, and I feel that way. So it's a normal thing. So if you do sort of an hour at a time and you do one category at a time, sometimes that's going to help you keep going and not feel as overwhelmed. But if you're I'm going to get this done, maybe do 4 hours and do one category at a time and see how much energy you have. And then if you have energy, keep going. If you don't have a lot of energy to begin with and you're really stressed about it, just do an hour and see what you can get done. And again, do one category at a time, so that it's much more manageable. Don't tackle your whole closet. Maybe if you really need to start small, just start on either your tops or even do it even smaller, and maybe it's just your sweaters.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. I know for myself, and it's so interesting we're talking, I'm doing that with my closet right now, in fact, a section at a time. And sometimes I'll take a cluster of this section, and then I put it out, and then that's what I work on. And I find that at some point, depending on how high energy I am that day, at some point in the beginning, it's really easy. Yes, no, I'll evaluate that one later. I'm going to hold on to it a little longer. I can make those decisions pretty easily. But then at some point, I find I can't decide yes or no or even later, and then I stop. I'm like, okay, that's enough for today.
Yeah, because there's a lot of energy moving, and that energy, some of it's really freeing. When you get that out of your house, that's really freeing. You've created space, but a lot of that is those little energies, because everything is energy. So it could be that sweater where it's telling you, you can't wear me anymore because you gained weight, or you did this, or you did that. And it's those little stories that can start to wear on you. And also making that many decisions in that short of a period of time can wear you out. So when you feel your energy waning, it's time to just, stop, put it away, and continue another day when you've got that energy back again. And that's okay. I mean, I think people put so much pressure on themselves to do it perfectly and to get it all done that they end up feeling overwhelmed and then quitting on themselves and never getting it done. And some even backslide, and then they feel even worse about themselves. So do what you can, and then set yourself another date where you're going to start up again, and then keep going.
I love it. I love it. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate it. And absolutely, we're getting ready to go to our next commercial break. The time goes so fast. Listeners, I hope that you take these next 2 minutes just to really take in some of the amazing tips, insight, and perspective that Allison has been sharing with us about organizing and releasing clutter. And it's not just the tangible things, but intangible things as well that can be part of that clutter, and really having some powerful approaches to start tackling it. We're going to go to our next commercial break, and here's what's coming in the closing segments. I want to make sure you stay present and come back. We're going to share some great final tips, contact information, so you're able to go in deeper with both of our powerful experts, and some tips that you can take with you so that from their wisdom and expertise, things that can really continue to support you on your journey. So we look forward to continuing the conversation in just a moment.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
You need to live up to your full potential. You've heard that for years, but now there's a channel to help you get there. Introducing the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Our listeners have told us that they want to be motivated, hear about success stories, and positive encouragement around the clock. And we've responded to you. The Voice America Empowerment Channel is the home of the world's top life coaches, entrepreneurs, and success experts. Listen to the Voice America Empowerment Channel. It's here at voiceamericaempowerment.com.
Rebecca Hall Greider's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at SpeakerTalentSearch.com. That's SpeakerTalentSearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Greider. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes just for you. and that you've taken some great notes or had some aha moments, either from what our experts have shared with you or from perhaps when you've been still and listening, have bubbled up within you, that you've captured some of that. And I'm going to encourage you at the end of today's show, take a couple minutes before you rush back out into the day to allow yourself time to review what you've taken in, and then mindfully, purposely step forward in the day with this now becoming part of you. So as promised, I wanted to make sure we had each of our experts share a powerful final tip with you and their contact information so you can go deeper. Let's start with you, Kathy. Can you share your contact information, a powerful tip, and where they can learn more about you and some of the things that you bring to the world?
Certainly. The fun part about this conversation is we just launched a brand new website.
Wonderful.
And that will have, we have 2 freebies at the bottom of every page on that website. One is it's a free download. Know your publishing options. It's a high-level overview of everything from DIY to traditional publishing and all of the indie and independent and self-publishing options in the middle between the two. And then the second free download is the top 100 plus marketing tips for how to market your book.
Nice.
My content in that website the new website is creativepublishingpartners.com. creativepublishingpartners.com.
Beautiful.
And the easiest way to reach me is through that contact page. I believe we've called it the Connect page. It's a way to connect with me. It'll have all of my LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook links, as well as my email and phone number where I can be reached.
Great.
The tip that I would love to share today is my ABC tip. When trying to figure out what your next step is, how to feel empowered along the way, is to remember ABC. A is act as if what you want is right around the corner. B, believe that you deserve for all of it to happen. C, create the little steps each day to move in the direction that you desire.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Kathy. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
It. Absolutely. And Allison, I'd love for you to do the same, to share your contact information, resources available and that they can lean into, and a final tip for our amazing listeners.
Sure. Probably the best way to get in touch with me is through my website, and on that website you're going to find a wealth of information that you can get for free. In fact, if you sign up for my email list, and trust me, you're not going to get inundated with emails, you'll actually receive a free download on how to boost your home's curb appeal, even if you live in an apartment. So in that situation, your curb appeal would be when you first walk into your home, to make it look appealing for yourself and your friends. My website is AllisonKiro.com. Just remember, my first name has 1 L, not 2. And I think in terms of the advice that I want to give, I think the smartest thing, especially if you're just starting out, tackle the easy stuff first and work your way up to the emotional triggering stuff, because by that point, you'll know what you have room for, and you'll have enough experience where that triggering emotional stuff won't be as triggering and emotional.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. Great advice, and appreciate the ability for people to lean in for powerful support. So that's wonderful. Thank you, Allison. Listeners, I want to thank all of you for joining us today. I hope you've gotten some great tips, advice, and ideas to help you move forward. I want to make sure everyone marks on their calendar October 21st for the release of Clarity Out of Chaos, if that's something that would be supportive for you. Just watch. We'll be sharing that out in media. And I want to encourage each of you, as you are stepping forward, going back out into the world, to remember each of you are a gift, absolutely needed for such a time as this and be willing to share a little bit more of you. So release some of that, more of that stuff that is not you. Lean into more of you and be willing to share that each day just a little bit more. And that's a huge gift to the world. Have an amazing week, everyone, and we'll look forward to talking to you next time.
Thank you for joining us this week for Empowering Women, Transforming Lives. Please tune in again for another edition with your host, Rebecca Hall-Gruyter, next Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific, on the Voice America Empowerment Channel, with a replay on Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern and 1 p.m. Pacific on the Voice America Variety Channel. Have a beautiful week, and may you always bloom where you're planted and shine.